If I can interject here, one thing that has concerned me in the past is maybe a lack of understanding of what being a board member means, or board ready, as we say. And it doesn't just happen. You know, often I've met young, educated women, men and women, but we'll talk about women at this time, who've maybe worked for 5 or 6 years, decided they really didn't want to carry on with the full-time job and the rat race of whatever they were doing. So they decide to take the ICD course, and they come out and say, I'm board ready, now I'm going to become a professional director. And it isn't that simple. It doesn't happen that way. No. They aren't really board ready. They may be ready in their own mind, but they're not really in a position to contribute as much as they believe or would be expected of them. And so I think they have to understand it's a very competitive world out there, and it applies to men as well. I've seen the ones who've talked to me is normally more towards the end of their career, and they've said, okay, I'm stepped down from this position or been terminated. I think I'm going to take it easy and become a board member. But they're not necessarily board ready. So I think there needs to be probably a whole bunch of work and parsing of what that means to be board ready.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts, Marie?
Well, I think they're both absolutely correct. We've heard so often from women who say that, you know, I'm a specialist in CSR, I'm a specialist in cybersecurity, for example, and I'm at the end of my career and I'd like to be a board member now. But it's more than just knowing one particular aspect of the job. You have to know how to be a board member. You have to know how to keep your nose in and your fingers out of management. You have to be able to work effectively with other people who are bringing all kinds of skills. And you have to really get to know the business of the board, of the company that you're on the board of. And it takes, each board has its own culture, and so you have to fit in with that as well. So it's not a matter of, I know the subject matter. It's really, it's a combination of all of those things to see whether you're ready for a board, and then whether you're ready for that specific board. And I don't think everyone is cut out to be a board member. Some people just by nature aren't interested in that type of work. So, you know, I completely agree with what it's really not a supply issue that I'm seeing. It's more of a demand issue. And so the demand is, how do you get into that network? How do you show that even if you haven't been a CEO, that you've got all the skills to sit on a board and to bring value to that board? So it's a complex, this is not an easy problem, it's a complex problem.
Actually, there's a lot of context to the definition of demand, isn't there? So that's really fascinating.